Fallacies, fake news, and manipulative speech are all tools to manipulate others. All three of these techniques are used to persuade people to accept a particular view or position without considering all of the relevant information. Fallacies are errors in reasoning that are used to persuade people to accept a particular conclusion or belief without sufficient evidence. Fake news are intentionally false or misleading information shown in social media. And manipulative speech is language that is used to control others in a way that benefits the speaker. It is important to be aware of these techniques and develop critical thinking skills that allow us to evaluate information objectively and make informed decisions. That's why we are here to mention some examples to avoid falling into it.
According to Oxford Languages, the news is a source of information about recent or important events. It is a powerful tool to keep people updated and spread useful, relevant information. However, it could also become a tool for manipulation, leading people to believe or act a certain way by convincing them through fake news, propaganda, or other techniques. A clear example of this is all the misinformation that was spread during the COVID-19 pandemic, leading people to develop racist and discriminatory thinking. In 2020, Jesse Waters, a Fox News host, demanded an apology from China for the cause and spread of the global pandemic.
Ask the Chinese for a formal apology. I'll tell you why it started in China.
Okay.
Because they have these markets where they're eating raw bats and snakes.
just-
This food is uncooked, it's unsafe, and that is why scientists believe that's where it originated from. And according to the New York Times, the Chinese government has been very deceitful and deceptive in communicating the extent of the infections to the world.
He also said that it happened because they have these markets where they're eating raw bats and snakes. These allegations are using logical fallacies such as, if the virus started in China, then they should apologize for it. Using appeal to ignorance, or even using the New York Times as an appeal to authority fallacy. They're also using outright deception by suggesting that eating raw bats and snakes was the cause of the virus.
Another manipulation technique is called depletion, in which they manipulate people by making them very vulnerable and tired mentally and physically, so it was easier to convince them and brainwash them when they did not have self-control. Another manipulation technique was bribing, because whenever they wanted to join the secret parts of the society, in which they involved the branding of the women, they needed to share an intimate event or the thing they regretted the most in order to access it. And in case they wanted to expose them, they will use that information as leverage, and everyone will know your biggest secret. Another manipulation technique was through dependency, because most of the members of NXIVM were living on the same neighborhood or the same house. Therefore, whenever they wanted to escape, all they had was their support system from NXIVM.
NXIVM used fake scientific data, included a scientific patent that was fake. Their Tourette's treatment included some elements of hypnosis, neurolinguistic programming, and cognitive behavioral therapy. It was all mixed, obviously not proven, and it was all pseudoscientific. However, they made people think that with pieces of official and veridic information taken out of context, they could make a new kind of effective therapy. NXIVM also played with people's insecurities. They made people tell their fears in order to be recruited for the cult. They found people in a vulnerable moment of their lives and made them think NXIVM was the solution in order to have a purpose. Finally, emotional manipulation. A cult usually makes people believe they love each other in a spiritual way, so every person needs to show their love for the leader doing whatever he wants, and in this case, it was involving themselves in sexual acts.